A jungle so thick, so loud, so impossibly green that silence itself seems afraid to enter. Sunlight fights through a cathedral of canopy. Rivers breathe mist. Every square inch occupied. Every sound has a mouth. Every creature has a role. Look around you. A lion rests without a care in the world. Monkeys chase each other through the treetops. Elephants bathe in a sparkling river. Colourful birds paint the sky. This is a Climax ecosystem, nature's masterpiece. The final chapter of ecological development. The moment a world stops struggling to become and simply becomes. A place where life has reached its most stable form, where countless species thrive together in extraordinary balance. Rich in biodiversity, deeply connected, every branch, every river, every creature woven into a living network.
But nature is not always gentle. Without warning, the earth beneath this paradise begins to tremble, a rumble too deep to hear, only to feel. The lion's head snaps up, the birds go silent, everything stops. Then, fire! A volcano erupts with the fury of 1,000 storms. Lava swallows everything in its path. The trees gone, the animals fleeing, the rivers boiling. In a matter of hours, that irresistible jungle, the one we fell in love with just moments ago, is reduced to a landscape of ash and silence. This event has a name in science. We call it a disturbance. Any event, natural or man-made, that destroys organisms, disrupts an ecosystem, and opens space for something new to begin. Everything is gone. Or so it seems.
The crow sees something small, something impossible. There, pushing up through the ash, through the hardened rock, through everything that said nothing could grow here, a single green shoot. Tiny, defiant, alive. And in that moment, without knowing it, that little shoot has just started one of the most powerful processes in all of nature. Scientists call it ecological succession. The gradual, predictable process by which a community of living organisms develops and changes over time, transforming a lifeless, barren environment into a rich, complex, thriving ecosystem. Succession is not random. It is not lucky. It follows rules. It follows a sequence. And it always moves in one direction, forward. Now, here is where it gets interesting. Because succession doesn't only begin after a volcanic eruption, it begins whenever nature gets a blank slate And there are two very different kinds of blank slates. The first is called primary succession. Primary succession begins on surfaces where absolutely no soil exists. Bare rock, hardened lava, a sand dune, a glacier that has just retreated. Nothing, not even the memory of life. This right here, what we are looking at, is primary succession, the most extreme starting point nature ever works from. The second type is secondary succession. Secondary succession begins where a disturbance has destroyed an existing ecosystem, but the soil is still there. A forest burned, a field abandoned, a riverbank after a flood. The soil remembers. Seeds are still buried in it. Roots may still be alive beneath the surface. So, secondary succession moves faster, because it is not starting from nothing, it is starting from memory. Two types, same destination, both moving toward one goal, a stable, balanced, living world. That is the story of succession, and it begins with the smallest, most unlikely heroes you have ever seen.
Meet the pioneers. Not lions, not elephants, not any creature you can see with the naked eye from a distance. The first pioneers are lichens. Tiny, ancient, remarkable. A lichen is not a plant. It is not a fungus alone. It is not an algae alone. It is something stranger, a partnership. A fungus and an algae, living together as one organism, each one doing what the other cannot. The fungus anchors them to the rock, holds moisture, provides structure. The algae captures sunlight, makes food through photosynthesis, feeds them both. Together they can survive where nothing else can. No soil, no shade, temperatures that would destroy almost any other living thing. They simply hold on. And as they hold on, they work. Slowly, patiently, over years, over decades they release acids that break down the rock beneath them. Tiny fragments of rock begin to crumble. The lichen dies and decays, adding the first trace of organic matter to the mix. The rock is becoming soil. And that changes everything, because once there is even the thinnest layer of soil, even a film so thin you could barely see it the next, Pioneer is already waiting. The mosses arrive. Mosses are small, but they are mighty. They hold moisture. Far better than bare rock ever could. They trap dust particles from the air. They add more organic matter as they grow and decay. The soil layer thickens, just slightly, but enough. And enough is all succession ever needs. Because now the grasses come. Grasses whose seeds have been waiting in the wind for this moment. They find the thin soil. They anchor in. Roots break down the rock further. Their leaves shade the ground below, keeping it moist. When they die, they feed the soil. The soil deepens. The pioneer species have done their job. They came to a place that said nothing could live here. And they made it livable not for themselves, but for everything that follows.
Please kindly subscribe. Kindly click on the subscribe button. Don't forget to leave a like as well.
The shrubs arrive. Woody, stubborn, pushing up between the grasses, competing for light, for space, for water. They are taller than the grasses. They create shade beneath them, and in that shade, the grasses begin to thin. This is not destruction. This is succession working exactly as it should. Each stage does not just grow, it changes the conditions so that the next stage can replace it. And then the pioneer trees come. Fast, hungry, racing skyward. These are not the great ancient trees of a climax forest. These are opportunists, thin-trunked, fast-growing, needing full sunlight to thrive. They shoot upward above the shrubs and claim the sky. But in doing so, they create something they did not intend. Shade. Deep, persistent shade on the forest floor below. And in that shade, the slow-growing, shade-tolerant species have been waiting. The great trees, the ones that take decades, centuries to reach their full height. They begin to grow. And as they grow, the pioneer trees, starved of the sunlight they need, begin to die out. They served their purpose. They prepared the ground. They created the conditions. And now succession moves past them, as it always does. This is the Seral stage. Each community of organisms, each stage is called a Seral stage. Each one modifies the habitat. Each one makes way for the next. None of them are failures. All of them are necessary.
The forest is back. The animals are back. The rivers sing again. Ecological succession has done what it always does, taken nothing and built everything. And here is what succession teaches us. Not just about ecosystems, but about life itself. Destruction is not the end. It is sometimes the condition for a new beginning. Every pioneer that clings to a bare rock, every grass blade that pushes through ash, every tree that grows in the shade of another, preparing the ground for a forest it may never live to see complete. They are all part of a story bigger than themselves. And so are you. Nature does not rush. Nature does not panic. Nature succeeds.